Left in the rain. I discovered my strength. My bodyguard's incredible arrival changed everything. The rain pounded down like a roaring drum, soaking Mia to the bone as she trudged home from another exhausting shift. She was a single mother, a relentless warrior in the heart of Chicago, and today the weight of the world felt heavier than usual. She had dreams, big ones, sweet ones, of opening her own bakery, where the aroma of freshly baked bread would greet every customer like an old friend. But first she had to survive her current reality. A low-paying job, endless school drop-offs, and the harsh stares of people who thought they had a say in her life just because of where she came from. That day was different, though. The taunts of local bullies shot through her like icy daggers. "Go back to where you came from," they sneered, their laughter echoing in her ear as she clutched her daughter's drawing tightly to her chest. She felt so small, so incredibly lost. What was she doing here? Was this truly the life she had chosen? Standing there, drenched and shivering, a rush of self-doubt surged through her. Her daughter, Sophia, deserved more than this, more than a mother exhausted from the struggle. Then, just as despair threatened to swallow her whole, she noticed a figure stepping in between her and the bullies. He was tall, rugged, with an aura that screamed of strength, a former military veteran turned bodyguard. "Hey, leave her alone," he shouted, his voice a thunderclap that demanded respect. Almost instantly the taunts faded and Mia stared in awe. In that moment something inside her stirred. Maybe, just maybe, she could find strength again just like him. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Jake stayed with her, those moments became a lifeline. He wasn't just a protector. He became a friend who listened. Over cups of coffee he shared stories, and slowly, Mia bared her soul, the fears, the dreams, the longing for her sister Ella back home. The more she revealed, the more liberated she felt. They felt like two pieces of an incomplete puzzle, both battling against the tides of life. Together they began to confront the past. The rift with Ella swirled inside Mia like a storm she hadn't known how to face. Then came the bakery contest of a lifetime, a glimmer of hope shining through the fog. But whispers of betrayal within her community started creeping in, making her question her loyalties. Would it really be okay to compromise her values to rise above the challenges? As another storm brewed within her, Mia felt the familiar tightness in her chest. Just when she thought she could finally breathe, doubt knocked on her door. Her impending reunion with Ella loomed over her like thunderclouds, promising both possibility and pain. As the rain cascaded down, washing away the remnants of her hesitation, Mia stood at the crossroads of ambition and love. The rain was no longer a burden. It was a cleansing force, an invitation to rediscover her strength. But would she choose the path of success, or the family that had always been waiting for her? The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Mia's journey had only just begun. Mia paced back and forth in her small, cluttered kitchen, the smell of damp clothing lingering in the air. Each step sent a jolt of anxiety through her. The impending bakery contest loomed over her like a heavy shadow. She had always envisioned this moment differently, filled with excitement and hope. But now, as she stood surrounded by bills and fading dreams, the pressure felt suffocating. Jake had given her a nudge of confidence, but now a familiar pang of doubt clawed at her. What if she was meant to fail? The voices of the bullies echoed in her mind, intertwining with her uncertainty like thunder rumbling in the distance. She imagined them standing there, sneering at her, a reminder of every time she'd been told she wouldn't make it, that she wasn't enough. Sophia dashed into the room, blissfully untouched by worry. Holding a drawing in her tiny hands, she beamed with pride. "Mom, look what I made." The colorful crayons danced across the page, a vibrant world of fantasy that seemed impossibly far from their reality. Mia knelt down, capturing the warmth of her daughter's smile. How could she let her down? As she studied Sophia's drawing, a bakery filled with smiling characters and abundant pastries, Mia felt her heart swell. This was the dream she had been chasing. This was why she fought so hard. The moment froze in time, it was clear. Her daughter believed in her. Maybe, just maybe, she could believe in herself too. "Let us get to work," Mia declared, determination flooding her voice. Together, they set up a small area in the kitchen, flour dusting the countertops like fresh snow. Sophia was her little helper, carefully mixing ingredients while Mia took pride in swirling buttercream on a test cupcake. They laughed, and for a moment, the pressures of the outside world melted away. But as the cupcakes baked, Mia's mind raced. What would Ella think if she took the plunge and entered the contest? Would she be proud, or would it open old wounds? Just as those thoughts threatened to consume her again, her phone buzzed. The screen lit up with a message from an unknown number. At first she hesitated. Then curiosity won over her caution. "Hi Mia. It's Jake. Can we meet? There's something we need to discuss. It's important." Her heart raced. What could it be? Had something happened to her sister? Was there trouble she didn't know about? The two of them had built a bond, and Jake had become an anchor for her in a world that often felt too chaotic. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was about more than just her bakery dreams. "Mama, can we decorate the cupcakes next?" Sophia chimed, breaking through Mia's thoughts. "They're gonna be the best ever." "Of course, sweetheart," she smiled, the warmth of her daughter's enthusiasm spreading through her. As the afternoon slipped into evening, Mia made a decision. She would meet Jake later that night. She couldn't let fear dictate her life any longer. Whatever news he brought, she was ready to face it, ready to confront the past, and perhaps ready to embrace a future filled with hope. But in her heart, a new worry crept in. What if the truth was worse than she could imagine? The question lingered as the sweet smell of baking filled the kitchen, mirroring the stirring of courage in her soul. With cupcakes cooling on the rack, Mia glanced at the clock. Time was slipping away. She had to leave soon. But what would await her at this meeting? As she washed her hands, excitement mixed with dread. The storm of uncertainty settled like a heavy fog around her heart. Would this night bring the answers she needed? Or would it plunge her deeper into confusion? With a final glance at the colorful drawing Sophia had made, Mia took a deep breath. She had already conquered so much. She could face whatever came next. And as she stepped out into the night, a single thought echoed in her mind: only time would tell. The cool night air bit at Mia's cheeks as she stepped out of her home. The stars blinked down like curious eyes, but their twinkle did little to chase away the shadows in her heart. Anxiety and hope danced a delicate waltz within her, and she wrapped her arms tightly around herself, seeking warmth but finding only the chill of uncertainty as she approached the cafe where she was supposed to meet Jake. Each step felt heavier, laden with the weight of her fears. The streetlights flickered, casting her in soft pools of light, making her feel both exposed and strangely illuminated. Deep down she just wanted to run back home, curl up in a blanket with Sophia, and pretend the world outside didn't exist. But she couldn't hide forever. Not from this meeting. She needed answers. Just as she reached the cafe entrance, her phone buzzed again. It was Jake, letting her know he'd arrived early. Taking a breath, she pushed the door open. The cafe was cozy, filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee and sweet pastries. But even the comforting scents couldn't calm her racing heart. There he was, sitting at a small table in the corner, his brow furrowed in concern as he spotted her. "Mia," he said, standing up as she approached. His voice was low, careful. "Thanks for coming." She forced a smile, though inside, her stomach twisted in knots. "Of course. What's going on? Sit down." Jake gestured to the chair across from him, his expression turning serious. "I've been doing some digging into our family matters. I think I found something important." Mia felt a rush of panic as she lowered into the chair. Had he uncovered something that would shatter her already fractured world? "What do you mean?" He leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "It's about Ella. There are things I've heard, things that could change how you see your past." Her breath caught. The very mention of Ella set off alarm bells in her head. "What do you mean? Is she okay?" Jake hesitated, his eyes searching hers. "Yes, she is physically fine. But Mia, the truth isn't what you think. There are layers to your family's story that no one has ever shared with you." Mia's heart thudded painfully in her chest. She felt like she was standing at the edge of a vast cliff, peering down into an unknown abyss. "Just tell me, please." Jake took a deep breath as if gathering strength. "Ella. She didn't just move away. There was a reason, and it ties back to your bakery dreams in ways you might not expect. The contest is part of it. I can explain everything, but you need to be prepared for the truth. A wave of nausea washed over her. She clutched the edge of the table, her knuckles whitening. She had fought so hard to keep her dreams alive. But what if they were built on lies? Just tell me, Jake. I can handle it. Jake nodded, his gaze steadfast. Okay. But it's going to change everything you thought you knew about your family and yourself. The finality in his tone sent shivers through her. Could this really be the key to understanding her life, her struggles? As he began to speak, each word seemed to stretch time, unraveling a mystery she had long avoided. Yet, a small voice in her head whispered doubts. What if the truth was more than she could handle? As the first syllables fell from his lips, the reality of what lay ahead sank deeper into her bones. Would she emerge from this meeting stronger? Or would it break her just when she felt she was ready to rise? The answers loomed near, but with them came the unpredictable storm of emotions. Would she discover a new path? Or would everything come crashing down around her? The haunting question echoed as she prepared herself for whatever revelations Jake had to share. Mia braced herself, the chill of the cafe mingling with the heat of her growing anxiety. Jake leaned forward, his voice low and steady. Your family's past is complicated, Mia. What I found out about Ella, it's tied to your mother and her dreams too. There were circumstances that forced Ella to leave, and it's more than just a simple decision. Mia's hands trembled slightly as she once more clenched the table's edge. She felt like the gravity of her life was shifting, pulling her in directions she had avoided for too long. What circumstances? What are you talking about? Jake adjusted in his seat, the worry etched into his brow deepening. A long time ago, your family was involved in something. A competition, not just any baking contest but something bigger. Your mother had a vision, and it all crumbled when Ella was taken away. Taken away? The words tasted bitter on her tongue. What do you mean? Taken how? Jake paused, his gaze drifting towards the window, as if searching for the right words in the rainy night outside. There were people. Powerful people. They saw potential in your family's recipes, in your mother's talent. But they didn't just want the recipes. They wanted control over them. Control that your family refused to give. Mia's heart raced. So Ella's disappearance wasn't just random? She was taken because of a contest? Confusion and anger twisted in her gut. She had so many questions, and the revelation felt like threads of her life unspooling, leading her to a revelation she wasn't sure she was ready for. Yes, and it shattered your family's dreams. Jake was earnest, pouring every ounce of sincerity into his words. When your mother decided to pursue her own path, Ella was left vulnerable. She didn't abandon you. She was forced to protect everything you both loved. Mia's mind whirled. The very foundation of her life now felt unstable, like a house of cards caught in the wind. What do you mean everything we loved? Why did no one ever tell me this? Why did Ella never come back? He took a moment, his gaze searching her face. Because if she had, she risked everything again. The people who took her wouldn't stop until they had what they wanted. She chose to stay away to keep you safe. But now it's all come full circle. You're entering that same contest, and this time, you can reclaim your family's legacy and uncover the truth. A mixture of grief and empowerment washed over Mia. She felt anger burning in her chest, an anger she didn't know she had. The challenges she'd face felt different now. This wasn't just about her dreams. It was about uncovering a legacy, about standing up against forces that had dictated her family's fate for too long. But what if I fail? She found herself whispering, fear nestled tightly inside her heart. Jake leaned in closer, his eyes intense. Failure isn't the path to be afraid of. It's the silence of the past that could continue to haunt you. You have the chance to break the cycle and to bring Ella's story back to light. You are not alone. You have the tools, and most importantly, you have the strength inside you. He paused, letting his words sink in. Mia could feel a quiet determination bubbling within her. It was time to reclaim her family's narrative. The sudden ringing of her phone startled her, cutting through the buzzing thoughts in her mind. It was a text from Sophia. Are you okay? I'm worried about you. Mia glanced back at Jake, who gave her an encouraging nod. She knew now that this was just the beginning. She had to face whatever was ahead, not just for herself but for Ella, and for all the dreams that had been stifled by fear. Jake's voice rose above the thrum of her thoughts. You've got to decide how you want to approach this. As Mia inhaled deeply, a new sense of clarity pulled her focus. I want to know more. I want to find Ella, and I want to uncover the truth about our family. I'm ready. Just as she spoke those words, a figure darted past the cafe window, catching her eye. A quick jolt of recognition sparked within her. Wait, do you see that? She asked Jake, her heart racing. Again, but now from a different kind of urgency. See what? He replied, glancing outside. There's someone out there, I think I know them. But before she could react, the figure disappeared into the shadows of the night. What if this person held answers to? What would it mean for her journey? Mia felt a surge of adrenaline. Whatever was waiting beyond those cafe doors, she was ready to find out. Mia's heart raced as she pushed the cafe door open, a chill breeze swirling around her like a whirlwind of unanswered questions. There was something familiar about that figure, and it tugged at her insides, beckoning her out into the damp night. Wait! She shouted into the murky darkness, but the street lay empty, the echoes of her voice swallowed by the rain. The spot where she'd seen the figure was now void, a shadow lost among the countless others. What happened? Jake caught up to her, concern creeping into the corners of his voice as he glanced around. Who did you see? I don't know, she stammered, frustration bubbling to the surface. It felt like someone I knew, someone who could help. The thought clenched her heart. What if finding that person was the key to unraveling Ella's story? Suddenly, the phone in her pocket buzzed again, louder in the stillness of the street. The familiar ringtone of a vibrant tune felt like a lifeline. She fumbled to dig it out, hoping for clarity. It was another message from Sophia. Mia, the meeting is in less than an hour. Are you really coming? The thought of sitting there in a room filled with strangers, discussing pastries and competition rules when her heart felt tangled in her own family history sent waves of doubt crashing over her. I can't just ignore this, she said, meeting Jake's steady gaze. I need to know who that was. We can't just walk away. I get it. But what if we could find that person? Jake suggested. It could be a long shot, but he hesitated, then checked the time on his phone. There's still time before the meeting. Are you serious? Excitement surged within her, muddled with anxiety. Are we really going to hunt them down? Jake nodded, determination written across his face. Yes. We're not letting this go. Let us retrace your steps and see if we can find a clue. They stepped out into the rain, the sound of the droplets dancing against the pavement quickening the pulse of the night. Mia's mind raced as she focused on the familiar sounds, the landmarks she'd passed. Each corner, each door held potential secrets. Maybe they were heading toward the park? She suggested, and before she knew it, they were moving in that direction, their spirits high, though her gut twisted with nerves. As they approached the park, a flicker of movement caught Mia's eye. It was a flash of bright red, someone in a raincoat rushing by the far end of the playground. She felt the hairs prick on her arms. What if it was them? Jake! Look! She shouted, pointing. He turned, his eyes narrowing as they both broke into a sprint. The rain poured harder now, a curtain veiling their path, but Mia pressed on, her heart pounding both from the chase and the sheer thrill of the unknown. Suddenly, the figure paused, startling Mia and Jake, and when they got closer, she could see their face illuminated by a street lamp. Mia's breath hitched. Ella? She whispered, hope flickering inside her like a candle in the dark. But the figure turned swiftly, revealing an unfamiliar smile. Sorry, I'm not who you think I am. Mia's heart sank slightly before being enveloped by an intense curiosity. Wait, do you know Ella? Why do you want her? The stranger asked, guarded yet intrigued. Mia took a step closer, conviction taking over her nerves. Because I need to uncover the truth about my family, Ella's truth. Can you help me? As the clouds thundered above, the stranger's expression softened. Maybe, but it could cost you more than you're willing to pay. Mia felt her determination waver, yet a fire ignited inside her. I'll pay any price if it means finding Ella and reclaiming our legacy. All right, the stranger said, glancing nervously around them. Meet me at the old bakery tomorrow. There's something I found that might change everything for you. And just like that, the figure turned and melted into the rain, leaving Mia and Jake standing in the downpour, drenched and shocked. What just happened? Jake asked, his voice barely audible over the falling rain. I think I might be closer to finding Ella than I ever imagined, Mia replied, the edges of uncertainty sharpening into resolve. But doubt hung in the air. What if this was a trap? She knew the stakes had risen. Tomorrow promised answers but also risks. Would she be brave enough to uncover the truth, no matter the cost? Mia stood beneath a flickering street lamp, her heart still racing from the encounter. The rain soaked her hair, plastering it against her forehead, but she barely noticed. Her mind was a kaleidoscope of thoughts. Ella, the stranger, the promise of answers. She felt the weight of the world pressing down, every unanswered question blending into a loud, chaotic hum. Did you really mean it? Jake's voice broke into her thoughts, pulling her back to the moment. Are you ready to meet someone you barely know? Just because they said they might help you find answers about Ella? Mia turned to him, a mix of determination and fear in her gaze. What if this really is the breakthrough I've been waiting for? What if they can help me unlock the truth? Jake sighed, raking a hand through his drenched hair. I get that, but we've both seen how dangerous chasing ghosts can be. You have to be careful. We don't know who this person is or what they really want. She nodded, acknowledging his concern. Yet the fire within her burned brighter. I know. But I have to try. Ella deserves that. As they began to walk back toward the cafe, Mia felt both excitement and trepidation swirling inside her. She thought about what tomorrow would bring and the possibility of unraveling the tangled threads of her family's past. The rest of the night seemed to fly by. They shared a quick cup of coffee, but Mia could hardly focus on anything but the upcoming meeting. The warmth of the cafe contrasted sharply with the cold rain that still drizzled outside. She stole glances at the clock, counting down the hours until she could meet this mysterious stranger. Later that night, as she tried to sleep, images of Ella danced in her mind, laughter, joy, and a sense of belonging that had always felt just out of reach. I will find you, she whispered into the darkness, her voice barely audible. Morning light filtered through her curtains, and Mia awoke with resolve. She quickly readied herself, slipping into her favorite comfortable sweater and jeans, her heartbeat quickening with every passing minute. Jake was waiting for her in the kitchen, his brow furrowed as he tapped his foot. You look determined. I am, she answered, grabbing a piece of toast and heading toward the door. Let us go then, he said, his skepticism still lingering but overshadowed by a sense of adventure. As they made their way to the old bakery, Mia's mind raced with possibilities. What if the stranger had an actual connection to Ella? What if they were holding the key to understanding her mother's choices? The what-ifs were electrifying and terrifying at the same time. The bakery stood quaint and worn, a refuge from the world outside. Its door creaked softly as they stepped in, the sweet scent of pastries filling the air. Where do we find them? Jake murmured, scanning the small crowd. Maybe over there? Mia pointed to a table in the corner where a hooded figure sat, a steaming cup in front. Keeping their face hidden with cautious steps, they approached. Mia felt a rush of adrenaline and fear as she neared the stranger, her heart pounding in sync with each step. Mia? The stranger's voice was low but familiar, sending a shiver down her spine. Yeah, she replied, fighting to keep her voice steadied as the figure looked up. Mia felt her heart leap. What she saw shocked her. There was a haunting resemblance to her mother, an echo from a past that had refused to fade away. Ella's story is more tangled than you think, the stranger spoke, their eyes piercing into Mia's with a knowing intensity. And just like that, Mia felt the weight of the mystery deepen. Would this stranger hold the answers she sought? Or would it lead her down a path she was not ready to face? Are you ready to hear the truth? They asked, and in that moment, Mia felt both fear and courage intertwine within her. As she opened her mouth to respond, the bell above the door jingled, and in walked another familiar face. Her breath caught. Who was this? Tomorrow promised clarity, but would she be prepared for what followed? Mia's gaze shifted from the hooded stranger back to the entrance, her heart racing anew. The moment felt suspended in time as she racked her brain, trying to place the figure who had just walked in. It was a face she recognized but hadn't expected to see. No way, she whispered, her voice barely escaping her lips. Jake followed her gaze, eyes widening as he caught sight of the new arrival. Is that? Yeah, it's Lily, Mia stammered, her chest tightening. Suddenly her emotions felt like fire. Lily had been her childhood friend, Someone Mia had lost track of after the split in families when Ella had disappeared. Lily spotted them and made her way over. A mix of surprise and concern etched on her pretty features. "Mia, I can't believe it's you," she exclaimed, enveloping Mia in a warm hug that felt like a lifetime in the making. Mia couldn't believe the rush of memories flooding back. They had spent hours playing in the park, sharing secrets under the boughs of the old willow tree behind their houses. "What are you doing here?" She pulled back, searching Lily's eyes for answers. "I came back home for a bit. I heard about your mom. I had to see you." There was a heaviness to her words. "I didn't know you were here." Before Mia could respond, the hooded figure cleared their throat, drawing attention back to the table. "Perhaps this is not the time to reminisce," they said, their tone layered with urgency. "Mia, I believe you should hear me out. There's much to discuss about Ella." Still reeling from Lily's arrival, Mia turned back to the stranger, now slightly annoyed. "Can't this wait? This is my friend." "Wait, what do you mean about my mom?" Lily interrupted, her brow furrowed. She was catching on quicker than Mia anticipated. "It's complicated," Mia replied, biting her lip. The desire to shield Lily from whatever secrets loomed over them battled with her need to share. "This person knows things about Ella, about her past." Lily locked eyes with the stranger. "And how would you know that?" She didn't back down. "I knew her," the stranger answered coolly, removing the hood. Mia's heart lurched at the familiar face, another haunting likeness to her mother. "What are you saying?" Mia blurted. "Are you saying you knew my mom?" With a pained expression, the stranger nodded. "I'm here because of a shared history that connects us all. Ella's choices, her secrets, they affect all of us." The atmosphere around them shifted, tension crackling like static in the air. Mia felt trapped between the two people who represented different parts of her life. "Just tell me everything," she demanded, fueled by a mixture of frustration and desperation. "Okay," the stranger said, their gaze turning serious. "But you need to be ready for the truth, Mia. Changes everything." Lily glanced nervously between them. "Mia, I think we should hear this out. If there is something about your mom, let us just hear it," Mia said, summoning a bravado she didn't entirely feel. She motioned for them to sit, her mind zigzagging with all the possibilities and emotions swirling inside her as they settled into the moment. Mia's heart pounded with anticipation. What happened to her? Before the stranger could respond, the bell above the door jingled again. A chill raced down Mia's spine as she turned, her heart sinking at the sight of a looming figure in the doorway. Jake's voice was shaky with concern. "Who is that, Mia?" "Someone I hoped I would never have to see again," she whispered, her throat tight. The atmosphere shifted again, the tension thick enough to slice. They had opened a door to the past. But was this person going to help? Or would it shatter everything Mia was trying to build back together? As the figure stepped into the bakery, Mia knew that tomorrow would not only bring answers but potentially more chaos. She swallowed hard, ready for whatever was coming next. Would she stand strong in the face of the truth? Or would it break her? Mia's breath caught in her throat as the figure emerged fully from the shadows of the doorway. It was Sam, Ella's estranged brother, someone who had haunted her childhood nightmares. His sharp features were a mirror of her mother's, although the years had etched lines of pain and bitterness into his face. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, unsure if she wanted him closer or wished he would disappear again. "Nice to see you too, Mia," Sam replied. His tone dripped with sarcasm. "I heard about your mom. I thought it was time to show my face." Mia felt the weight of his words. They hung in the air, heavy and accusatory. Ella's past was like a closed book, even a locked chest, and here was Sam, the key she never wanted. Jake stepped closer to Mia, protective instincts kicking in. "What do you want from her?" Sam chuckled, a sharp, bitter sound. "You think I want something from Mia? No, my interest lies solely in Ella." He glanced around the bakery, as people turned to steal glances at the escalating tension. "And I know a thing or two things she never wanted you to find out." Lily, still processing, interjected, "Enough with the cryptic talk. If you know something, just say it." "Fine," he said, raising an eyebrow. "But the truth is messy. It will raise more questions than it answers. Are you sure you're ready for that?" Mia's heart raced. She was teetering on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap. "Just tell me what you know about my mom." She squared her shoulders, determined to face whatever dark truths lay ahead. Sam glanced at the hooded stranger. With company present? That's risky. Risky or not, I deserve to hear it, Mia insisted. A palpable silence fell. Even the chatter in the bakery dimmed, leaving the group in a cocoon of tension. Mia felt the heat of everyone's stares. Lily's hand found hers, squeezing lightly, anchoring her in the moment. Finally, Sam nodded, as if conceding to an unwritten agreement. Okay. Ella, didn't he just disappear? She had a life, one filled with turmoil and decisions that could affect you deeply. I was there, but not at her side. He hesitated, searching for words. Just say it, Jake urged, his voice a low growl. She made choices, alliances that crossed dangerous lines. People got hurt. Sam paused, as if weighing the impact of his next words. She hid truths even from those she loved, like you. Mia's heart sank. Each word he spoke felt like a dagger, twisting deeper into her. What kind of truths? Sam took a step forward, the shadows from the bakery's dim lights casting a ghostly glow across his face. Ella was involved in something that endangered her life. And by extension yours. Mia felt like the ground beneath her might simply give way. What are you talking about? She whispered, her voice tinged with urgency. Let us just say she's connected to a world you'd never expect. A world filled with people who won't hesitate to take action if any secrets leak. Lily gasped, her eyes darting between Mia and Sam. What are you saying? What could she possibly be involved in that affects Mia? The weight of Sam's stare deepened. Something dangerous enough that they've been watching Mia ever since she came back. Panic raced through Mia's veins. She didn't just want to know the truth. Now she felt the weight of responsibility and danger pressing down on her. Who's been watching? She breathed, her voice trembling slightly. I need to do some digging. See if they're still tracking you, Sam replied, his expression shifting, a mix of concern and something softer, perhaps regret. We need to find out how deep this goes, and we need to be ready. Mia's mind was a whirlwind. She had opened the door to secrets she'd never anticipated. And suddenly everything felt like it was spiraling beyond her control. As Sam prepared to leave, urgency coursed through her. Wait. Don't just walk away. You can't drop that on me and then just. He turned, looking sincere. I'll be in touch. Don't trust anyone fully yet. Not even your friends. They could lead you to danger too. Mia swallowed hard as he exited the bakery. She turned back to Lily and Jake, feeling lost in the storm brewing inside. The urgency of the moment crashed down around her. Are you okay? Jake asked, concern etched in his features. I don't know, Mia responded, her heart pounding. Suddenly, everything I thought I knew about my mom and myself feels wrong. And just like that, the bakery, once a safe haven, began to feel like a trap. A new chapter loomed on the horizon, and she needed to decide if she would embrace the truth, no matter how painful, or if she would run from the shadows now creeping closer. Would she find the strength to face her family's demons, or would she buckle beneath the weight? Mia's chest tightened as her thoughts raced. The weight of Sam's words lingered, echoing in the corners of her mind. She looked at Jake, his brow furrowed and his hands balled into fists. He was worried, and it was clear that whatever Sam had hinted at had shaken him just as much as it had shaken her. What do we do now? Lily asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. The sweetness of the bakery, once a comforting scent that surrounded them, now felt suffocating, clinging to her like the darkness Sam had cast. Mia glanced around, noticing the curious eyes of strangers. It was as if the whole world had paused to watch her unravel. I don't know, she finally admitted, her voice shaky. What if he's right? What if I'm in real danger? Jake stepped in front of her, the protective barrier she needed. We'll figure it out together. Sam can't be trusted. He hesitated, searching for the right words. He's not part of our lives anymore. Whatever he knows, it doesn't change who your mom was to you. But it changes everything, doesn't it? Mia felt tears prick at her eyes. This isn't just about Ella anymore. It's about me. About my life. How could she have hidden all this from me? Lily, always the one with the comforting touch, squeezed Mia's hand tighter. You're still you, Mia. Nothing can take that away. Look, let us go home. Take a breather. There's no point in diving into this further until we have a plan. Home. The word used to feel like a sanctuary, but now it seemed charged with the potential for unease. Okay, she murmured. though anxiety twisted in her chest. They left the bakery, stepping into the cool evening air. For the first time, Mia noticed the clouds gathering overhead, thick and heavy as they made their way down the street. Rain began to fall in soft, drenching sheets. Mia pulled her coat tighter around herself, feeling the cold seep in with every drop. "We're almost home," Jake reassured her, glancing up at the clouds. "Just hold on a little longer." But as they crossed the park's path, Mia felt a shift in the atmosphere. A sense of being watched slithered along her skin. She stopped abruptly, her heart racing. "Do you feel that?" she whispered. Lily nodded, glancing around nervously. "It feels off, but it's probably just the storm. Or maybe it's the people Sam mentioned," Mia said, her voice low and cautious. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows beneath the trees. The streetlight flickered, casting intermittent glows that made it hard to see clearly. But Mia could make out a silhouette that stood far too still. "Do you see that?" Jake, who had instinctively moved closer to Mia's side, pointed. The figure began to walk towards them, slow and deliberate, the rain cascading off a dark coat that Mia's breath quickened. "Who is that?" she asked, feeling trapped between the safety of her friends and the unknown ahead and the flickering light. She finally recognized him: Marcus, a guy Mia had only met briefly, known for his serious demeanor and sharp eyes. He worked as a bodyguard for people in high-stakes situations, and though she only knew him in passing, every instinct screamed that his arrival meant something urgent. "Mia," he called, his voice clear above the sound of rain. "I need to talk to you. It's important." Before she could respond, he stepped closer, and the energy shifted. The air thickened with an urgency that made her skin prickle. "What's going on?" Jake questioned, shielding Mia with his body. "You can't just approach her out of nowhere like this." Marcus raised his hands, signaling for Jake to calm down. "I'm not here to cause trouble, but things are more serious than you realize. We need to move now. If you've been watched, then you don't have much time." Mia felt her heart drop. The truth was breathing down her neck, and as she took a step toward Marcus, she knew that whatever unfolded next would change everything. "Wait," she said, looking back at Jake and Lily. "What are we getting into?" Marcus's eyes locked onto hers, fierce and unwavering. "I'll explain everything, but we don't have time to waste." "They want to wait for you to decide." The rain poured harder, but a wave of determination flickered inside her, battling the fear. Suddenly, she realized the choice was not if she wanted the truth. The truth had found her. "Let us go," Mia said, a fierce resolve taking shape as she took the first step into whatever darkness awaited. Somewhere in that storm, she just might find the strength she didn't know she had. But how deep would she have to go? And who would be waiting there? The rain poured down as if the heavens themselves were weeping, but Mia felt a warmth growing within her. Standing beside Marcus, she could sense that they were on the brink of something monumental, something that would finally untangle the mess that life had thrown her way. "I'm ready," she whispered, her voice steadying despite everything swirling in her mind. The clouds above were heavy, but in her heart, a flicker of light ignited. Marcus led the way as they hurried through the downpour, Jake and Lily close behind her. Each step felt like a defiant strike against the fears that had held Mia captive for far too long. The urge to flee was still there, but it was overpowered by a newfound determination. She had always been her family's protector, but now it was time for others to see just how resilient she could be. They ducked into a nearby alley, seeking refuge from the storm. Marcus turned to face them, intensity burning in his eyes. "Listen, Mia. You need to understand that your family history has consequences. It's not just about your mom or your sister. It involves people far more dangerous than you've realized. I've seen their reach." Jake clenched his fists, frustration under the surface. "And what do you know about protecting her?" "Everything," Marcus replied firmly. "When Ella disappeared, it set off a chain reaction that isn't over yet. Your family has a legacy that these people will do anything to control, including targeting you, Mia." Mia felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean?" "Why me? Your strength, your talent, it's proof of your mother's ability." She thought she could hide from them, but they've been watching. You are her legacy, and now they see an opportunity. The rain fell harder, splashing against the pavement, but Leah's hand tightened around Mia's reassuringly. "We're with you," she said, her voice firm and unyielding. Gathering her courage, Mia straightened, meeting Marcus's gaze. I won't let fear control my life anymore. We should fight back. I'm not backing down from this. Good, Marcus affirmed. But we need a plan. If we're going to take on the people who threaten your family, we'll need all the allies we can muster. That means also reaching out to Ella's old contacts, people who know the truth. Mia nodded, heart racing at the prospect. I want to find Ella. I need to know what she faced and how she felt. The determination in Mia's voice lit something in Marcus. All right, let us regroup and figure this out. Time is of the essence. They won't wait, and neither can we. As they moved on, the rain began to ease, and Mia allowed the weight on her shoulders to lessen. With Jake and Lily beside her, she felt like she had a team, a family she could rely on. Later that evening, they gathered in Mia's home, the light from the kitchen illuminating their faces. Surrounded by the warmth of familiar comforts, Mia felt closer to her dreams than ever before. Whatever it takes, we're going to find Ella, Mia declared. Her voice filled with fierce determination. She could already picture the bakery she had once dreamed of, the smell of baked goods wafting through the air, and her family gathered around her. Suddenly a thought struck her. We have to make a plan for the baking contest too. This could be a way to find her, to reclaim our family's legacy. Jimmy nodded, excitement sparking in his eyes. Then we'll set aside time to bake, to rally some support. We can even surround ourselves with those who remember Ella. Mia felt warmth swell in her heart, proof of the community she had missed all those years. This is it, she said, echoing the words that had become her mantra. This is only the beginning. With each passing moment, she could see the fear beginning to fade. Once lost, she was transforming into the fighter she knew she could be. The path would be filled with challenges, but Mia had decided. She would never again stand in the rain, shivering in doubt, waiting for someone else to bring her strength. That night, as she shared laughter with her friends, the connection she felt ignited a fire within her. The aroma of baked goods filled the room as they began their preparations with renewed energy. With every cupcake, every shared moment, she would reclaim more than just her mother's legacy. She would reclaim her own story, filled with hope and determination. The rain outside continued, but within those walls, a new journey was just beginning. And with each heartbeat, Mia knew she wouldn't just survive. She would thrive, lifting herself and her family to heights they had only dared to dream of. As the night wore on, she closed her eyes and pictured the future, a family reunited, a bakery bustling with joy, and a life filled with love. Dreams were no longer just fragments of the past. They were within her reach. Collective triumph surged through her friends as they set off to gather their community as support. This was the moment of transformation, the curtain that would lift to reveal the strength they had all carried within them all along. Now it was time to share this story. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others find this journey. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Your words matter. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. It's time to let them know they're not alone. You need to show your support right now. Don't wait not even one more second.